This is your story. A story of Red Cross in the headlines and Red Cross behind the headlines. At home and overseas, people helping people. The Red Cross story is your story. Behind the headlines of crisis in Lebanon, behind the headlines of troops debarked on a mission of peace, is the story of America's concern for its servicemen. Your Red Cross was there to serve our men in the armed forces as it does in other parts of the world. Red Cross supplies brought in by plane, comfort articles, gifts of the American people. Stationery, combs, razors, toothpaste. Soap and towels never make headlines, just make a man feel refreshed and clean in days of heat and grime. Nor does a letter from home make headlines. Mother was taken to the hospital today and will be operated on. She keeps asking for you, and Dr. Johnson thinks you should come home if you can. Come home if you can. No, a Red Cross field director cannot grant emergency leave. Only the commanding officer can do that. But the field director can verify the need, can get the facts from home, and present them to the commanding officer. The cooperation of the military communication system enables the field director to do this promptly. A priority cable from Lebanon to the Red Cross chapter in the serviceman's hometown. A Red Cross home service worker confers with members of the family and doctor, and a reply is cabled to the field director in Lebanon and to the commanding officer, who grants the leave. Started on his journey, the serviceman knows Red Cross is waiting to help him at the other end, if necessary. Last year, you helped over 1 million servicemen in their personal and family problems. Wherever they may be, your Red Cross is there. Taiwan, a name like a gong ringing across the sea. But not all the news here is big. Some of it here in this military hospital is just small talk. Small but cheerful. And win or lose, a game of checkers with a Red Cross girl takes your mind off your troubles. Nothing big here. Nothing for the headlines. Just put it somewhere in the heart of the story. You made this headline. The citation is for you, because without the blood you donate, this marvel of science, the mechanical heart and lung, would be useless. It pumps blood, making it circulate without passing through the heart. It pumped blood and oxygen for this patient, enabling the surgeon to repair a valve in her heart. Thanks to you who give blood, many more will benefit by open heart surgery. More than 2.25 million pints of blood were given by donors last year. Used as whole blood or derivatives, it builds a lifeline for family, community, and nation. The disaster story begins long before the headlines. It begins in Red Cross chapters throughout the nation, with preparedness committees, volunteers who formulate a plan of action should disaster strike. And a disaster alert finds the Red Cross poised for action. Be it tornado, hurricane, or flood. While havoc is in the headlines, your Red Cross is on the job with emergency help, shelter for the homeless, first aid, blood supplies, and medical treatment for the injured. Hot meals for the hungry, the preparedness plan in action. And long after the disaster headlines, your Red Cross remains on the job, helping people rebuild. Red Cross workers report applications for help to local advisory committees who approve or disapprove the assistance recommended. Preparedness, emergency help, long-term assistance. That is the Red Cross story in disaster. And that was your story in more than 300 disasters last year. A continuing story of people helping people. This didn't have to happen. Water safety, handling small craft, swimming, are being taught in our communities. Aided by the Red Cross instruction book, many parents are teaching their children to swim. Lessons proceed step by step. It's fun. You can't think of a better sport to save your life and the lives of your children. At Red Cross Aquatic Schools, instructors are trained in teaching water safety. They will work to help waterproof our communities. At some, their training includes teaching the blind and handicapped to swim. The booming popularity of boating has given the Red Cross a special job, teaching the handling of small craft. More than 7.5 million small craft now move on our nation's lakes and waterways. This type of training is not intended to make headlines, just to prevent the tragic ones. In Red Cross courses, nearly 1 million people were taught first aid last year, adding to the safety and security of our communities and nation. This, too, is part of your Red Cross story. Pioneering in city slums and rural areas, then tested on the battlefields and in the hospitals of World War I, the Red Cross nurse created a tradition of dedicated service, a tradition carried forward in days of peace. An early home nursing class. Behind the anniversary headline has been the continuing story of Red Cross nursing services in disaster and epidemics, in blood centers, in teaching the simple skills for nursing the ill and elderly at home. And today, even classes in mother and baby care for expectant parents. One learns. Simple skills make life much easier for all concerned. In Red Cross chapters, more than 200,000 people were taught home nursing in the past year. Even the youngsters learned in the tradition of service. And behind the headline is a story of America's young people trained in the responsibilities of citizenship as members of the Junior Red Cross, youthful representatives of the spirit of the Red Cross volunteer, serving school, community, and nation. Volunteers in blood centers and hospitals, bringing a touch of gaiety into homes for the aged in the spirit of people helping people. Making gifts and favors for the bedridden. Packing school chests for children overseas. Chests packed with the goodwill of America for friends abroad. A spirit of amity, people to people, colorfully expressed in the International Art Project. Juniors, in the tradition of Red Cross service and international friendship. Downed in a thunderstorm and held in East Germany, 9 servicemen are freed through Red Cross efforts when government channels led to an impasse. Liberation through the Red Cross, that was their story, a story of your Red Cross in action. And in the words of General Alfred M. Guenther, President of the American Red Cross, it's your story, General Gruenther.
Once again, we have reported to you on your Red Cross around the nation and around the world. It's your story of friendly help to neighbors, of international cooperation. We've only told part of it. You could multiply it 100-fold by what has been done in your community. There, too, Red Cross may not have been in many headlines, but it has made the heart of the story through the services made possible by your support and the work of the dedicated Red Cross volunteers. In my travels as president of the organization, both here and overseas, I have seen these volunteers on the job, serving long hours, doing arduous tasks, representing you, the American people, when your neighbors needed a helping hand. With a constantly growing population in the midst of a world of turmoil, these helping hands must be strengthened to bear the increasing load. In your hands is the measure of what they can do. Yes, it's your story. You can help write future stories equally dramatic, equally heartwarming, by your participation in Red Cross.